Welcome to today's episode of Football Scientific with me, Aaron Sauter, and Tyler the Tiger as a co-host. Thanks me, I'm Tyler the Tiger. Whoop, whoop. I am a writer for FootballAnalysisOne.com. I cover the Cincinnati Bengals and the NFL. I'm currently writing an article on the top 3 fantasy running backs for 2025, so check that out. My quarterbacks article, I believe, was published today. So check that out on FootballAnalysisOne.com. Also, I covered a Hamilton Tigercats at the CFL, and they are playing Saskatchewan Roughriders this Sunday, so I'll start breaking that down probably tomorrow to get that pregame article ready by Friday. Should be a busy time, but I'll still get that done. Overall, on Football Scientific, we also covered the UFL, the IFL, the NAL, and the ELF, so we cover 6 leagues, which is quite a bit to cover. So we have some news to go through. Tyler, you ready to go? Let's get this thing done. Okay, here we go. So first, some news from the NFL. Denver Broncos have officially signed former Charger running back J.K. Dobbins, so a 1-year deal. That may cut into R.J. Harvey's production. I don't think it's going to cut it very much, honestly. This is going to be another back in there. New England Patriots. They have moved offensive lineman Wes Schweitzer onto the reserve retired list. They signed him as a free agent in March, but he's done, man. He's over. Next, speaking of Jacksonville Jaguars, not that I mentioned them earlier or anything, I did not. But the Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, showed up to minicamp with a sling. He didn't tell anyone he just showed up in a sling. That's not cool. Okay, LA Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh has done a bunch of things. During the offseason, he had successful cardiac ablation and a hip replacement done, so he thinks he's good to go. Well, that's a lot of medical work, man. He's kind of beat up, I guess. Atlanta Falcons quarterback Kirk Cousins. He's been talking about trading and getting traded and going to the Steelers and blah, blah. He now says, he's happy to be the backup for the Falcons. Of course he is. He's going to get paid $27.5 million by the Falcons this year as the backup. So he may not even have to take any major hits. He'll just be out there making bank more than Michael Penix Jr. It's a good deal for Kirk Cousins. He's finally seeing that. San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Brandon Ayuk is not expected to be ready for training camp. He's still kind of complaining about injuries in his contract and whatever else he can use to not show up training camp. Maybe he's feeling kind of lazy, you know. Some details came out about Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. First thing is, though, he had a negative report today. He used to have this old Schutt helmet, and I'll be honest, Schutt helmets are light and they're old, but they're not like as safe as the current helmets. So they told him he could not use his Schutt helmet anymore, which made him real sad. And he said it was way cooler than the helmets they have, the modern helmets they have. But his Schutt helmet would not get approved. It's 20 years old. And maybe I have to sign Aaron Rodgers to retire when your helmet doesn't get approved anymore. It's a 20-year expiration date, and your helmet is retired, so maybe you should retire, bro. Either way, he complained about getting a modern helmet. You wouldn't have to do that if you were retired. But he's going to come out and play one more year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's playing out a 1-year contract. Here's the breakdown of his contract. So he's playing a 1-year contract for $13.65 million as the base salary. Up front, he got $10 million of the signing bonus, and he has up to $5.85 million in contract incentives to put him around $19 million. But these contract incentives are kind of crazy. So if they get a playoff berth, he gets $500,000 added to his salary. That's probably going to happen. They'll probably be 98 like they always are. Wild card win, that's probably not going to happen at $600,000. If they win it in the divisional round, $750,000. If they win the AFC Conference Championship, $1 million. If they win the Super Bowl, $1.5 million, and League MVP, $1 million. For him to get to $19 million, he's going to have to do all that, and I don't think that's even going to be possible for the Steelers this year. So they might make the playoffs, and he's not going to reach $19 million. So this is hopefully this is the last year of Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, he's old, and it's hard to watch a good, once great player play trashy football. Tyler, you want to take this next one? Yes, the Cincinnati Bengals and Shamar Stewart are still facing off about his contract. He said the Bengals are more interested in winning an argument with him than they are when it comes to winning games. But the answer he should think about is, duh, they've always been interested in winning the argument and less interested in winning games. They are the bargain basement team, y'all. Sometimes they don't win. They keep it cheap, though, no matter what. That's right, they keep it cheap no matter what. So, I mean, that's Shamar Stewart. You got drafted to him, man. Your observations are correct, but not unknown to everyone else. Everyone knows, Shamar. Shut up and play football. Yeah, just shut up and play football. That's right. Boom. Seattle Seahawks. If he was better, he would have been picked earlier, but he got picked by the Bengals. Seattle Seahawks. Running back Kenneth Walker. He's coming to minicamp. Still has lingering effects of an ankle injury. He's not 100%. I'd probably minimize running him in minicamps, honestly. According to the betting websites, the Chicago Bears and San Francisco 49ers are the top picks to go from worst to first. I say 49ers are that team. The Bears are not. I think the Bears will fizzle out. They may start fast, though. They might start fast and then fizzle out. I think the 49ers are actually one of the better teams in the league. They just had injuries last year. If they can stay healthy, they could make a run again. Las Vegas Raiders, former Bengals linebacker Jermaine Pratt, who got cut by the Bengals a couple days ago, has signed a one-year deal with the Raiders. That tells you where he's at in his life. Now he's a Las Vegas Raider. Goodbye. All right, in the CFL, several moves are being made before Week 2 games start tomorrow. I think tomorrow BC Lions travel to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We'll have that prediction in some form tomorrow before that game starts. But there are a bunch of adjustments to rosters. So first, Toronto Argonauts have moved some guys to the practice roster. American wide receiver Calvin Turner. They released American running back Tyron Mitchell. Montreal Alouettes released American defensive lineman Trevon Mason, who played for the Tiger Cats. He's been cut by 2 CFL teams this year. It's probably time to bounce, bro. Calgary Stampeders. They have moved to the practice roster national running back Ludovic Choquette. Okay. BC Lions made a bunch of moves today. They play against Winnipeg tomorrow. So first they added to the practice squad roster American linebacker Devin Richardson. And then they extended a bunch of dudes on the injured list. So on the injured list still, they're not going to play tomorrow. Will be national linebacker Adam Auclair, American D lineman Trey Crawford, American linebacker Josh Woods, a national offensive lineman George Una, American defensive lineman Marcus Moore, American defensive lineman Tomasi Lalile, American defensive back Tyler Coyle, global linebacker Maxime Rogers, American offensive lineman Ilm Manga. There's more. They moved a few guys to the single game injured list. National defensive lineman Deshaun Stevens and American cornerback Jeremy Lewis. They also added to the single game injured list National offensive lineman Tyler Packer. Okay, so they are hurting, man. They got that first win, but they are hurting. They beat Edmonton, but they're beat up as they prepare to play the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Blue Bombers, they are not beat up because they didn't play last week, but they have a quarterback issue. We'll talk about in a minute. Montreal Alouettes moved to the practice roster American defensive lineman Antonio Moultrie, and they released national defensive back Vincent Delisle. That's the Delisle guy. Okay. Winnipeg Blue Bombers in preparation for tomorrow's matchup with the BC Lions. They moved to the league suspension. This is huge. They moved to the league suspension list American quarterback Zach Collaros. So they won't have their starting quarterback tomorrow. So even though the BC Lions are quite beat up from Edmonton, Blue Bombers are going to be without Zach Collaros. They still have the running back, though. Their running back is great. It's going to be a tough game to predict, honestly. We'll find out tomorrow. They moved to the single game injured reserve list. American offensive lineman Eric Lofton, global linebacker Fabian Welton, American wide receiver Dylan Mitchell, national defensive lineman Tanner Schmeckel, American defensive lineman Jamal Woods, American linebacker Jonathan Jones. So a lot of guys are beat up in the CFL right now. We're in week 2, and they're all beat up. That's going to be a tough prediction. I had BC Lions #1 in the CFL based on last week's preview. That's going to be a big game here against Winnipeg. Big early season game. And the UFL DC Defenders offensive coordinator Fred Case has been named as UFL Assistant Coach of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. St. Louis Battlehawks edge rusher Pita Tomo-Penu has been selected to that. These awards are coming out piecewise. They're not like one announcement. That's the UFL's kind of janky, man. Boom. Michigan Panthers, in preparation for the UFL Championship Game, have signed defensive back Michael Tutsi. He played at North Dakota State, but more importantly, he played at Warren Central High School in Indianapolis. I coached at Warren Central High School in Indianapolis, and he was there a year before I started coaching there. Michael Tutsi. He went to North Dakota State, and now he's playing for the Michigan Panthers in the UFL Championship Game. So now I may be going for the Michigan Panthers. I was going to go for DC, but since I know someone playing in the game now, I'm probably going for the Panthers. Boom, and they added Tutsi because they lost defensive back Bryce Tornadin. Okay, yep, got that. And the ELF, European League of Football, some things are going down, man. Things are going down. In the ELF, you don't get a long leash for winning. The Ryan Fire, who have had a disastrous start to the season after losing all talent to the Nordic Storm. They changed head coaches. Head coach Jim Tasula has said for personal reasons, aka they're losing a lot, he wants out and wants to go back to the United States. Richard Kent is now the head coach of the Ryan Fire. And a similar move with the exact same description, Ed Warner, who was offensive coordinator, former Michigan coach, former Ohio State offensive line coach. He has mutually agreed to leave as well, once again for personal reasons, aka they're losing. And he ain't got no time. He ain't got time for that. You get time to live in Europe if you're going to be losing, you know. That's defending ELF champions back to back. But they're not the same team. A lot of their players went to the Nordic Storm. Wide receiver coach Mario Schultz will take over the role as offensive coordinator the rest of the season. He'll be game plan with offensive staff and also quarterback Chad Jeffries and Rohat Dedeli. Okay, so he's going to try and make it work. I don't know if this can get better or not, man. You just lost your coach. Rocklaw Panthers, they moved tight end Robin Mergen Blue on the injured list. He's injured now. He's a blocking tight end, so that's kind of a big deal for the run game. They signed offensive line Leandro Santos de Fonseca, and they did that to help bring some pass protection for quarterback DJ Aarons, who's been sacked 10 times so far this season. I think in 3 games, sacked 10 times. That's the most sacks. Most time the quarterback's been sacked in the ELF so far. So they need to fix that pass protection if they want to win some games. Or they got to run the ball. Run the ball, you're going to win. But you're losing that tight end probably hurts who's running the ball. Okay, more ELF stuff. The Prague Lions they're blowing up. Boom, they're up to number 8 in the power rankings. They're blowing up. This is the best they've ever done. They're 2-2. It's the best they've ever done. They're looking at a playoff spot. It's 1/3 of the season, but they're climbing up the standings. They get a bye week this week to recover and get ready for another third of the season where if they go like 3-1, and they're in a great spot for a playoff position right there. Berlin Thunder, they have lost injured receiver Bryce Goggins and running back Jenade Aduna. Okay, so in response, they signed 2 import players. They signed a British running back Samuel Oram Jones. He played at Vanderbilt and USC United States, and he also played for the Prague Lions in 2023. And he played in the Japanese X League last year, so he's been around. Probably not the best running back, but he might be enough to replace Jenedy Adams. They don't run the ball a ton, but they should if they want to win in the ELF. Maybe he'll be the difference maker. Samuel Oram Jones, if you don't know anything about British running backs, Glenn Tunga, the best running back in ELF history, is from Britain as well. So he has a chance. They had a dynamic wide receiver, Brandon Polk, who had played for the Los Angeles Rams in 2020. He's also been with He's been in the GFL. He's played at Penn State. He's been at James Madison in college. He played at the Potsdam Royals in the German Football League, so he has experience in Europe as well. Madrid Bravos, they signed Sio Sunny No Fwa Totoa. He's a Polynesian player. He's Samoan. He played college football at Indiana University, though, for 4 seasons. He's 6'5", 305 pounds. He made a lot of plays at Indiana University. He was a very good player for them. And he's a 2-time Polynesian All-Star. So, I mean, that's a good sign. That's a good pickup for Madrid. They're swooping up. They probably have the best offensive duo in the league with Reed Sinnett and Cruikshank as a receiver. So, they're trying to blow up. They're making a move. Okay. In NAL news, the NAL Championship Game has been announced. It'll be on Monday, June 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can see it on YouTube on the National Arena League channel. So they made this announcement way better than they did for the playoffs, which they waited till like 2 days before the playoffs started to tell us when those playoff games would be played. Well, the championship game will be next Monday, June 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern, with the Omaha Beef traveling to the Beaumont Renegades. Who's going to win that game? I believe Beaumont Renegades. I think they've been the better team. They beat Omaha already once this year. I think Beaumont Renegades will win that game. We'll do predictions later in the week. We maybe do that prediction Sunday or Monday though, just to make it more fun. Fisher's Freight, they released defensive back in the IFL. Fisher's Freight released defensive back AJ Felton. They released wide receiver Vincent Gary. Their quarterback Jaya Wright has tapped out. He's retired. They're 2-8, 8-game losing streak. Now they're having guys tap out. That happens, man, in the IFL. Season-ending IR list. Wide receiver Jordan Kress is done for the year, most likely. Activated for the short-term IR list. So we're replacing Jordan Kress with Chavarez Smith. So that might give them a boost. They signed defensive back Justin Terry, and they signed running back Dominic Roberto. Maybe they can pound the rock a little bit and help their defense out. Now, they got 8-game losing streak. They need to stabilize. You need to get a win. Okay, you need to get a win. Then you'll stabilize a little bit. Tulsa Oilers, they released defensive back Isaiah Smith. They did that on Sunday after they lost. The Barry Panthers in a tough game. Another team, it's on a losing streak. Arizona Rattlers have now lost 3 games, 2 games in a row. So they're trying to make some moves to get back on the winning side. They released defensive lineman Rayshawn Yates, and they signed running back Marquez Cooper. And I have a theory that they're resting up this third of the season so they can make a run at the end, heading to the last third. So we'll see. So if they pick it back up. All right, Tyler, you got any thoughts today?
Yeah, there's a possible news today. We'll do our power rankings tomorrow. No, we already did that. We already did power rankings. You take it.
Okay, I'll take it. We'll do our prediction palooza tomorrow, starting with BC Lions and Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We may do the rest of them too. We'll see how busy of a day it is in terms of football. Otherwise, we would do the rest of those predictions on Friday afternoon. We'll see how it goes. I got to do a few teacher professional development days the next couple of days, so gotta work, I guess. So that's the plan. I hope you had a good time with the show today. Remember, check out articles about the NFL and footballanalysis1.com. Boop. Check out CFL articles at CFLnewshub.com. Boop. And then also, if you like Football Scientific, subscribe. Boop. And if you like the video, hit like. Boop. And I hope the algorithm get the video to more people, including myself. I found myself on a short. I was horrified. That's not nice. All right, so that's the Football Scientific for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see what happens next in the world of football. The Football Scientific portal is now closed. Boop, boop, boop.